are doubling down on plastic production, with plans to build or expand over 300 petrochemical plants in the US alone by 2025. But these companies already produce more plastic than we can use. So where's all that plastic going? A lot of it's flowing into new markets, in places like Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Because more than any other product category, plastic isn't driven by the demand for it, but by the supply. Corporations like Unilever, Nestle, and Procter & Gamble are aggressively marketing
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay. Assalamualaikum, good evening, and salam sejahtera to all the lovely folks in this Google Meet. My name is Akif bin Anhar, and today I will be your moderator for today's forum session. I said today twice. On Recycle 101, if not us, who else? On behalf of my team, we welcome all of you to our event. We appreciate you taking the time off your busy schedules to join us today, and we hope that all of you will get to learn something from this fruitful conversation. Let us begin our session with the recitation of Al-Fatiha. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alameen. All right, with the blessing of Allah, let us continue by getting a brief introduction from our speakers. Brother Aidil and Sister Iwana, take away.
All right, hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone. So my name is Aidil, and I'm from Capacity Building Exco from Eco Club IIUM. And yeah, I think I'm glad to see all of you here listening to our forum. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Iwana Putri. I'm from Capacity Building Exco IIUM, and yeah, I really like the atmosphere, and I really hope all of you can enjoy the talk tonight.
Thank you to both our speakers on their introduction. Let me just say on behalf of everyone here that it is an honor to have both of you and on. And I personally can't wait to see where our discussion goes on in the next hour. Okay, without further ado, let us continue. So I actually have prepared a set of questions for both of you. And let's start with my first question towards Brother Aidil. Since the topic of discussion today is about recycling, can you start by explaining to us how does using recycled products actually help in reducing the negative impacts of end-of-life disposal? Take it away.
All right, I'll be presenting. All right, so thank you, Brother Moderator, Brother Akif, for giving. Okay. Thank you for the introduction earlier. Okay, and also for the question. So regarding the how recycling products can actually reduce the negative impacts of end life disposal. So basically, I think it is proper for us to actually take a look at what are the impacts, okay, and before we understand how does recycling actually contribute to reducing that impact, okay? So am I on the second slide?
No. You're still on the first one.
Yeah. Right. Am I on the second slide?
Oh, it's loading. Okay, yes.
All right. So, all right. I'll take back. So basically, this is the we have to understand what are the impacts, right, of the end life disposal. So basically, when we talk about um, the disposal, it is basically mean that we throw away the things that we use, okay, that has no use already. Okay, so the impacts that actually lead to that is that we actually have to use. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm so sorry for the interruption earlier. So basically, the when we use when we dispose a lot of our things, so basically it actually can deplete our natural resources. Okay, why? Is it this is because when we try to make new things every single time, okay, we try to produce every single products, okay, we're in need of the raw materials from the natural resources. Okay, so that the reason why it actually makes deplete our natural resources. Okay, and this is an issue because when we're actually talking about the natural resources, yeah, it is scarce, meaning that we don't have that much left. Okay, and even though we do have that, it will be limited into a certain period of time. You know, in like 10 or in like a few decades, okay, we'll be lacking that. Okay, and we're already experiencing that. Maybe in terms of the water, it becomes scarce. So and because of like the accessibility we don't have that kind of accessibility in a certain area. So basically, that is like the impacts of having of having the products not be used or not be recycled. Okay, and then next is can you guys see waste, the waste in the landfill?
Yes.
All right. So okay, I'll just continue. So basically, when we have that abundance of the products that are disposed, okay, we're actually accumulating them. Okay, we're accumulating them. We're accumulating these solid waste. As you can see here, there are so many, and in fact, in Malaysia, we do have like a lot of landfills. They are actually have gone to the maximum capacity. That means that we cannot go on to actually operate this solid waste. Okay, and knowing in Malaysia that we don't really have that much of space because we're not like the European, we're not like a big country that we can fit in so many landfills. And in fact, our landfills itself is not as advanced as the for example, the Western countries. So that is the impacts, okay, of us throwing away our products without even thinking of recycling. Okay, and other problems that can actually draw from this kind of thing is the hygiene problem. Okay, especially when there are like areas where people live. Okay, very near to the landfills. I think we don't really see that in Malaysia, but I think in a lot of other countries, okay, in the global south countries, we actually see that people actually experiencing the smell, the unpleasant smell, you know, the health risks that because the landfills, okay, it attracts the smell, okay, the filth, it attracts the vermins, okay, to be there. So it actually becomes a health risk to the people. Okay, and because of these landfills, okay, we get to see the immediate effects of us keep on using our things, on and on and on without thinking or initiating what we call as recycling. All right, and then we also get to see, if you see in this slide, we see the impacts of climate change, right? So in continuation to the second impact, okay, we get to see that when you accumulate a lot of these garbage, okay, these solid waste, some of them biodegraded, okay, especially maybe cardboard, okay, because they are made based on plants, okay. So basically when they biodegraded, okay, and some of these waste or solid waste actually produce that kind of greenhouse gases, okay, and especially methane and carbon dioxide. Okay, and in the outcome of this massive emission, okay, from the landfills, it actually traps the heat, and that's the reason why we're having climate change. Okay, it increased the temperature of the earth. So those, okay, are the impacts of if we don't initiate recycling. All right. So right now I'm going to explain a little bit about how does recycling save energy, our energy. How does recycling save reduce the impact that I've explained earlier. All right. So one of it is actually recycling saves energy. Simply put, I can say that as you can see on the slide, okay, every time a new product is made, okay, it requires abundance of energy to produce it. Okay, so for example, if you have this, if you recycle, for example, aluminium, okay, you recycle the aluminium to produce a new product. Okay, it actually take less and less energy compared to you taking the raw material, extracting the raw material, bauxite, for example, right? And because of you save the energy, all right. So you can actually save the cost. All right. So when you save the energy, as I said earlier, we take less on the extraction part, and because of the less extraction, okay, we use fewer fossil fuels. Okay, fewer fossil fuels are burned, and it reduces carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and further on, it decrease the greenhouse gases, and then the impact of climate change in general, okay, can be reduced, okay, and can be controlled. All right. So I think that is the part that is very important. And I think you guys can probably know, right, that recycling can actually save our environment by saving the energy. Okay. Our energy consumption. So it's I continue with the next slide, in which how we can see a more clear picture. Okay, how recycling save energy. As you can see there, in this poster, it also includes refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, and recycle. Okay, and it has the relation with circular economy, because why? Because we compared to the traditional linear economy, we mix, okay, we use, and we just dispose it. But when we pursue this circular economy, we're actually trying to make sure that the amount of disposals, the amount the trash or solid waste that we dispose will be reduced, and the value that these materials holds become we try to extend the life of every single product that we use. Okay, so yep, as you can see here, at the same time, okay, here I introduced the linear economy and the circular economy. How is that different? As you can see, linear economy only have like one goal. Okay, it only have the product will only end up in the landfill. But when we talk about circular economy, as you can see, when it from source, produce, sell, use our consumers, it doesn't end up directly to the landfill. Okay, we can actually recycle it. Okay, we give it another life. Okay, we give it another chance to be the product for somebody else. Okay, so I think that's that's how recycling reduces the amount of impacts that the thing that we throw.
All right, thank you for the answer. And moving on from that, we have heard from scientists in the past talking about climate change, landfills, and all of these disasters that you even mentioned that is happening in our world due to us consuming too much too quickly. We almost have no reservation towards taking those resources on Earth for our own benefit. So can you tell us, like, why should we bother recycling now in the first place when the planet is literally on the verge of death and scientists are saying that these effects are near irreversible?
All right. Thank you for the questions. I think okay, so it basically has like little less something to do with recycling, but that's okay. I'll try to talk about it as well. Okay, so the question is, so basically what I can simplify, right? Why should we care? So so there are basic and okay, if you we being honest, right? Okay, if all of us in this Google Meet are being honest, even though there are like there are the worries, okay, the anxiety that people have when they know that the earth is on the verge of dying. Okay, we as Muslim, we know that the responsibility is still there. We have to take care of it, no matter how pessimist we feel. Okay, because that is like our binding responsibility that we actually have to carry. But in order to give another perspective on why we should care, is that we can actually see that in this work, we share this work with others. Okay, and I'm going to talk about a little bit in relation to the um, COVID. Okay, so especially in the midst of COVID, we see like how the virus mutates and mutates again, and we're becoming like I think everyone is Google Meet actually think that we have like no chance of meeting each other. You know, we face every single day. So but why are we still doing, you know, the why are we still following the SOP? Why are we still observe our social distancing? Okay, so why? Okay, it is because we think we care for other people. We care for something that is a part of other people as well. Okay, we're not being selfish. Okay, and even though the data, okay, even though we were, you know, there are a lot of things that we are afraid of. For example, yeah, UN Secretary said that calls the IPCC, okay, the climate change report, to be an red alarm for humanity. Okay, but still they do conduct the COP26. Okay, and they still global leaders who attend, and even despite people are not in spite some people critique that the COP26 is a failure, okay, to some people, but still it doesn't stop people to actually commit to the pledge that they have promised to to reducing the impacts of climate change. So again, we have the failure, we have experienced the failure. Okay, not me lah. Okay, obviously these global leaders, they experience the failures. The NGO, they experience the failures, but they still commit to that. Okay, because of the thing that I said before. We share this world, and we only have one world. Okay, if we have like another Earth, so maybe the situation will change. But it's because we share this world, and it is, we cannot escape from it. Okay, so we cannot make you know, feeling pessimist as, you know, as an excuse. All right, but we need to think that, yeah, optimistic and pessimistic. Some people think some people are pessimists, some people are pessimists, but I think a lot of people, you know, when you talk about climate change, they are pessimists. So we can actually use that to our advantage, where we become skeptical of these big polluters or these big companies pledges. Okay, we need to make sure that they actually provide us reports, you know, provide us something to work on. All right, so yeah, don't make it as an excuse, even though you heard, you know, many times that we're facing this kind of crisis, you know, there's no time left. But that's just fine, just keep on doing what you do. Okay, and just remember that we only have one Earth. Okay, and that is our responsibility as a Muslim. So I think that's all.
I think that's just generally good advice to all of us here today. So thank you for sharing that. Next, to our next question. So when we're walking in malls and even going out to like parks or beaches, there's always this like 3 bins to help us in our recycling effort. On top of that, sometimes there's also one of these 4th bins labeled others, which I'm assuming is other than plastic, paper, and glass. I think so. Can you tell me more about these other bins? Like, what are what are the things that can and cannot be recycled, and what about the things that can't be recycled, and how are they managed?
Right. Thank you. So I think it is a very if I okay, it is very an insightful question because I actually have to research on that. Okay, because there are a lot of things that actually we cannot recycle, and in fact, okay, we do not have other options to actually, but we do not have options, but to actually just dispose them. Okay, and but so at this point, I'll explain a little. Okay, so when we talk about something that we can recycle, I think everyone are aware of what can be recycled and what cannot be. And even though we don't really know the colors, okay, I think it's because we know their labels. Okay, so we actually know where to put our recyclables. Okay, so I do not put the color of the bins here, but as you can see, the common one, the thing that made of papers, and they are usually blue in color, and then the plastic which is red usually, and metal or can which is like a yellow one. So there are glass also green, but I think it depends on the place. Okay, some places actually have like a lot of them, and some actually have a compost bin. So yeah, it depends on when you live. Okay, and the recycling bin can be different. So I will explain a little bit about like what can we, or what are the things that we cannot recycle. Okay, because I think a lot of people don't really know. So first of all is food waste. Okay, so food waste we cannot. Okay, obviously we don't recycle because we compost it, but sometimes we just overlook the fact that some of our recyclables are contaminated with the food waste. For example, if you like having a pizza or something, the grease, the oil, okay, yeah, it actually can make the maintenance, the cleaning part of the machine, of the recycling machine, can actually be a hassle for the workers. So yeah, that's the reason why we don't, why we actually, when we try to recycle, make sure that every single containers that contain food before, we actually have to make sure that they are clean, okay, before they're going to go into the recycling bins, okay, or before you go to the recycling center. All right, and the second is and clothing, okay, or fabrics. So basically, we cannot recycle this, but we can actually donate this. Okay, as the alternative, we can actually donate this or give this as a present for somebody else. All right. So yeah, we cannot recycle, but there is actually something called textile recycling. So it depends really on where you live. Okay, if you know the place, then you just go and recycle it. Okay, and the same goes to e-waste or electronic waste. Okay, we have the light bulbs here, the electronics as well as the batteries. So the reason why I like put them together is because they are they have like a special kind of like a recycling stream that they have to go through, because they are made of specialized components, and they have like these dangerous chemical waste if they are like mixed with other recyclables. So again, we cannot recycle this, but we can actually repair it, or maybe we can return it where if there is a shop, okay, that actually wants actually request people to give these broken electronics. And the third one, you cannot recycle ceramics. Okay, alhamdulillah, I've never like known somebody who actually recycle ceramics. But another alternative that we can actually see is and we actually use is to repurpose it. Okay, if they're just like old, you just don't want it, you can actually repurpose it into maybe candles, or give it to somebody else, donate it. Okay, those are like the typical alternatives if you cannot recycle that. Okay, and second one is plastic bag. Okay, so plastic bag, you cannot recycle it because it actually will clog. Actually, first it will clog the machine. Okay, because And yeah, that's the reason why we do not like recycle plastic bag. But the second one is because it will be such a hassle for the workers to actually, you know, unpack everything that you just in all your recyclables. So basically, when you want to recycle, make sure that you don't pack it in like one plastic bag. And last but not least is the diapers. So you actually have to be mindful that diapers as well as like menstrual cups, those are like are contaminated with human waste. Okay, so human waste, they when they are like come into contact with the other materials, that will make them non-recyclables. Okay, so because of they cannot recycle, and in fact, there's no like other alternative that I can find other than you use reusable diapers. All right. So yeah, so just a note here that I found in Zero Waste Malaysia Instagram that they actually provide you know, a guideline on how you can actually know how you can dispose it and how you can avoid or using other alternative. For example, we see a lot of products here, so you can just like check on their website online, and then just you know, take a look at what are the things that you want to recycle. Okay, and they do provide, you know, in some places they do provide like a map or something for you to actually find the shop for these products to be recycle or go to. Okay, so I think that's all for me. I'm so sorry for going too fast. I hope it's not.
No, it's no problem at all. So I have like one final question for you before we move on to Sister Iwana. So a lot of people around the world, I think, can agree that they would love to recycle if they can, to ensure the world is a much safer and healthier environment to live in. But sometimes it gets a little difficult, tedious, or even inconvenient, as you've explained, with all of these non-recyclables and how they should be disposed of, right? So is there some sort of high-tech or eco-innovation that can help counter the effects of environmental pollution and global warming?
Right. Thank you for the question. So I actually, when I first received the question, I actually like want to take another like a different route from, you know, taking a look at these, you know, massive and big technologies, you know, from the corporates, from like big corporations. Because for me, it is very important for us to actually understand how it works and to just see like the basic ideas of it. Okay, because yeah, we just have to go to with the thing that we can actually do, you know, collectively or individually. All right. So for the eco innovation, I actually like split into two. Okay. So first is redesign. Why I say and I will explain later why I split into two. Okay. So first is redesign. Second is repurpose. So I think it is a part of eco innovation because it is just like a development of product to make or to contribute to a sustainable development, a sustainable cause. So yeah, despite we think that it is not too fancy. You know, we're not like doing a lot of science in the background, right? But yeah, we can still do it, and it is still called eco innovation. So for example, right, redesign. So redesign is basically on the manufacturing side. Okay, meaning that this innovation is very important for the factories who want to produce it. Okay, because they want to fit into the circular economy that I've explained earlier. So for example, that we see here is Noble. So Noble, if you like watch the Shark Tank or something, so Noble is basically a product where there is like these foamy balls, okay, the shampoo balls, okay. I'll just summarize the purpose of this product. So basically, it eliminates the plastic use. Okay, because we use like when we use shampoo, buy shampoo, okay, they are packed in like plastic containers, right? So it actually eliminates it. It just wrapped by a plant-based material. Okay, a wrapping is made from plant-based material. So yeah, it eliminates the waste. Okay, like I said earlier, and because it eliminates the waste, it actually benefit the circular system, as I said, because they want to reduce the amount of waste as much as possible. And the same goes to Blue Land. Okay, so Blue Land also offer the same thing. Okay, you use the tablets. Okay, where instead of, you know, you buy soaps that can soaps in plastic containers, you can actually just buy their container, and they will provide you with the tablets. Okay, where you can just like put in there, and you have these maybe hand soap and something like that. All right. So so the next eco innovation is green box. So basically green box is a product that actually eliminates the use of use of plate. Okay, because when we use plate, we actually we have the we tend to like use like excessive like water or something, right? So when this is only like when you gather with your friends, for example, you want to eat and on that spot. Okay, so basically you can use this is very beneficial because like I said, it conserves the water basically. And this is a product from Indonesia, I believe. Okay, and it is called Muni. So Muni is like Muni is in this person, okay, who found this, small SME, okay, he actually used a natural dye, okay, because we know that in fashion industry they use a very hazardous dyes, okay, to actually produce their fabrics. So yeah, they use the dyes from natural products, okay, for example, tree bark and also fruit screen. Okay, so this is the repurpose. So different with redesigns, because repurpose is something that we can actually do, okay, as individually, okay, but it is also on our consumer part, okay, because the redesign is on the production part, but repurpose is on the consumer part, on consumption. So as you can see, it is very typical because like I say, it can be done. Okay, the plastic containers, change it into the pot, or you can actually put the pencils or brush or something like that. Okay, and also you can use the second product, okay, which is like the brush, okay, the broom, okay, you can actually use it to place the brush, okay, and it is a little bit convenient compared to like the cup, okay, the cup shape container, because you can just like tuck it in, okay, in on the brush, okay, on the brush. So yeah, this is like the base. This is like the simplest one. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is that just be creative. Everything can actually be done. Can repurpose everything. You don't really have to like have kind of like a high degree creativity. You can just like be it's as simple as turning it upside down. You can just like place the wrapping papers, the wallpaper, if you want. Okay, so that's basically all the innovations that I think is very important for the circular economy, and also it will actually lead to the reduction of the thing that we dispose every single day. Okay, so I think that's all.
All right, thank you, brother Aidil. It's like one of those 5-minute crafts that you see on Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
and YouTube. So it's very interesting to have a look at some of the creative innovations that even we can do as simple people in our everyday homes. All right, so let's move on. For the next set of questions, I'd like to direct them to Sister Iwana. But brother Aidil, just keep on your guard because I might want to hear your perspectives on them as well. So Sister Iwana, we know that a lot of things can actually be recycled and it goes through a thorough process. So can you explain to the audience whether recycled material can be used in a way that is recoverable multiple times through a circular economy?
Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. So can you see the slides? Can everyone see the slides? Because I'm not the one presenting, so like, can everyone see the slide? Okay, so this is the title, Recycle, If Not Us, Who Else? By me. So I'm going to answer a few set of questions that was given. So introduction first, my name is Iwana Putri, Binti Putra, age 19, hometown Kapapera, and I'm majoring in chemical engineering. So the first question that I would be answering is just now was about, can recycled material be used in such a way that it is recoverable to recycle multiple times through a circular economy? So my answer to that is, firstly, we have to understand what is circular economy. Circular economy is an economic model aimed at the efficient use of resources through waste minimization, long-term value retention, reduction of primary resources, and closed loops of products. Meaning, people might be thinking that circular economy is just getting better at recycling. Though, recycling is an extremely important part in circular economy, as you can see in the diagram there, like the green circle is quite big. circular economy is much further than this. It is about thinking about how waste can be designed out of products and processes in the first place, or indeed reused as a raw material for making new process. While recycling is undoubtedly a necessary component, we need to ensure that products and materials are designed from the outset to be reused, repaired, and remanufactured. It is not just getting better at recycling. Circular economy is like how the diagram shown by Brother Aidil just now. It's more of like a thorough process which involves all aspects, not just manufacturers, even us as consumers. And then the question was about how we can use the recycled material. Is it going to be recoverable after being recycled many times? It depends. Depends on the material. Meaning to say, there are some materials that can be recycled more than once. For example, plastic, you can only recycle it once or twice. And for aluminium, you can recycle it infinitely because no matter how many times you recycle aluminium, it does not degrade or become less in quality the more you recycle it. Compared to paper or plastic, every time you recycle it, for example, paper, it is made of long fibers. So every time a paper is recycled, those fibers will shorten, making it harder to be recycled the next time because it degrades, because it like reduces the quality of paper. In fact, you must remember that when we recycle something, the recycled material must compete with the virgin materials who are like at the best of their possible capabilities. So like when we want to recycle something, we must first think like, what are we recycling? Is it something that is of value? And that is why we must take care of the things that we are recycling, and we must take good care of the things that are already recycled so they don't have to go through the recycling process again and again. So yeah, that is the answer for the first question. Is it the next slide?
Okay, thank you, Sister Iwana.
This is the example for like what are recoverable materials. These are the things that can be recycled multiple times. However, as I said before, everything have like a certain timeline. So like these things can be recycled, but along the way they're gonna get degraded along and ended up not being able to be recycled anymore. Yeah. Am I talking too fast? I'm just scared if I'm talking too fast.
No, it's completely fine. I can hear you loud and clear, and I can understand every single thing that you said.
Okay.
So no worries there. Okay. So moving on to the next question, and this is a bit of a controversial segment because we're going back to the basics here. But just so that everyone here can get a clear picture on what we're actually discussing here today, can you explain to us like what does it mean to recycle in the first place, and how can normal people, the everyday men like myself, contribute towards a safer and cleaner environment through the act of recycling?
Okay, thank you for the question. Can you go next slide? In this slide, I've stated the definition of recycling. Recycling, as you can read there by yourself, is actually a process that we learn from basically during our primary school, that we must do something with our waste. But then we all know that when we throw something in the garbage can, they are going to be thrown away. But then away never have like a true definite meaning to it. So like through the research by Google, and like the videos on YouTube that we watched even before the start of this program, you can see how recycling is not something that is so easy to be done. It's not like you throw something in the certain garbage bin, and it's just like magically get recycled. It takes a lot of money and a lot of processing. So recycling reduces the need to grow, harvest, extract new raw materials from the earth. That in turn reduces the harmful disruption and damage being done to the natural world, which means fewer forests cut down, rivers diverted, wild animals harmed or displaced, and less pollution. Recycling also makes economic sense. As a rule of thumb, it's 6 times cheaper to dispose recycled waste than a general refuse. So the more you recycle, the less you put in the bin, the more money you save. So how do you actually recycle effectively? So based on the multiple articles that I've read, this is what I've come up with. The easiest way is like, first, you recycle plastic bags separately. Plastic bags are kind of the end of the food chain in terms of the recycling part, because they can't be recycled just like that. They took a lot of time to decompose, and sometimes they get stuck in the machine. So when you want to recycle plastic bag, it is better you put all the plastic bag that you gathered and collected in one big plastic bag and not throw it, dispose it at like a uh, proper recycling center, because they have a designated place for plastic bags only. Also, to save you all the hassle from having to go through all and collect it all, why not just use reusable plastic bag like the one given by Lotus at the shopping mall? Easier, and like you save time, you don't have to go through the hassle, and yeah, makes recycling easier. Also, you can try not to shred paper. As I have explained earlier, paper degrade the more you recycle. So like, instead of having to shred it, why not just reuse it? I mean, yeah, you know, when like more, and like the Christmas celebration is coming out, why not use your assignment notes to just wrap the gifts? It's better than just throwing it away or shredding it, right? Also, eco-friendly. Next, you compress bottles and put the lid back on. You know that from my experience in studying material chemistry, it is known that the body of the plastic and the cap of the plastic is made of two different plastics. So how do you segregate? Because like not everyone learn material chemistry, right? So like from a video that I've watched, if the plastic is hard, you can recycle it. But then if the plastic is like flimsy, it's better just collect it and like dispose it in a group rather than just like segregating it all along. So like it is better to make sure you properly dispose your plastic bag, because they take millions of years to decompose and they are not really of value. Next, you need to keep cardboard and other recyclables clean. Why? As Brother Aidil said in his slides, food can't really be recycled, food waste, because like they are most likely have been eaten or half eaten, and like they are better to be made into compost. However, you know, when you eat takeouts and like there's like certain things on your lunch box or anything, those things can't be recycled along with the lunch bag, because like when you have stain on your recyclable materials such as cardboard or like those McDonald's paper bags, you can't really recycle it, because like it is going to compete with what I said before, virgin ones. They are like at the best of their value. So like it's not really a match, and like they are most likely to end up in landfills anyway. So to prevent that, why not just bring your own? You have your own Tupperware at home, so why not just bring it and just put it in there, instead of like having to go and they are having to go and put something into work to be recycled, those paper lunch bag. Why not just you being the responsible one to be bringing those Tupperware to bungkus your lunch? So yeah, that's the answer for the second question.
Thank you, Sister Wana. I really love that attitude of yours, and I hope you can keep going because we have two more. So I understand that you're both part of the IIUM Eco Club, and so this pertains to that in particular. If you want to join, please do. But me personally, I know that eco in the IIUM Eco Club is a very broad term, spreading through all manners of specializations and expertise. So I would like to ask, has there been a specific recycling program which IIUM Eco Club has conducted, which has helped to encourage youngins of our time to take part in the preservation of the earth?
Yeah, thank you for the question. There are actually a few programs that the IIUM Eco Club have done and are planning to be executed, which are recycling website, IIUM Recycle Alert campaign, Trash to Treasure upcycling workshop, and sustainability summit. So the first one would be recycling website. So we currently have one under the pledge campaign where we would want to create a website as a focal point that students can refer to, as there are numbers of recycling initiatives in the campus conducted by students or higher ups, but not that well known to our community. So like this website is, the purpose of this website is to ease everyone to open their eyes and see like, oh, there are actually recycling drive gonna be held next week, or like keep people informed. And then the next one would be IIUM Recycle Alert campaign. So why do we do this? So recycling, as you all know, helps protect the environment. Recycling reduces the need for extracting, refining, processing raw materials, all of which create air and water pollution. So by having this recycling campaign, it offers a complete solution to the problem of commercial waste generation. We have the capacity to collect paper, newspapers, and magazines, glass, plastic, tin, empty toner cartridge, as well as offering a confidential paper shredding service. We provide an efficient, reliable, and consistent service which enables companies to recycle with minimal input whilst at the same time making a positive contribution to save the environment. Next one would be Trash to Treasure Upcycling Workshop. So if you were to stack off, for example, if you were to stack of all newspapers and fold them to create a biodegradable flower pot, this would be an example of upcycling. You are taking a simple material, newspapers, old newspapers, and creating something of higher quality, a flower pot, all on your own, which is good because like we like participating, right? So yeah, that's why we are like gonna be doing upcycling workshop in the future. Also, there's gonna be a sustainability summit. What is Sustainability Summit? So, Sustainability Summit will bring to fore captivating deliberations and intellectual insights that will inspire in creating a movement to deliver ambitious actions for a resilient future. It will emphasize on the interactions and interconnectedness between elements of physical, social, natural, and human capital. This summit will build discussions on importance of green finance, science, and technological innovations that will step up actions for a green and inclusive recovery. Meaning to say, the SDG goals, or those 17 goals, might be even more exposed to the public through this sustainability summit, because like, yeah, it is promoted by UN, but then like, why not we expose it to everyone so that everyone can actually participate, not just us university students. So this is like to reach out to public and give exposure to everyone regarding the sustainability concept. Yeah, those are the things that the IIUM Eco Club has planned and are currently in progress. So yeah.
Okay, this is starting to look out to turn out to be something like a proposal. But I have an added question for that. With this in mind, how does it guide you in creating similar events or programs related to recycling in the future? This is completely off topic. I'm just curious. With all of the programs that you have mentioned here, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does it guide you in creating similar events or programs related to recycling in the future?
Thank you for the question. So these programs that we are currently having planned and are in progress help us to create more of this program in the future, because like now we are in one roof, which are Eco Club. Once we have graduated and have been exposed to the world outside through our jobs, we can be the driving force to the people in our companies or our workplace administration to give an idea regarding to start a program and or movement about environment, because like not all of us are going to be working at great companies or companies that are related to oil and gas, for example, Petronas or whatever. But then like doesn't matter how big a company that we're going to be working in the future, as long as we have the drive and the passion in us to start a movement about recycling, to show everyone that the earth is important, as we only have one earth, we don't have a spare one. So this is a way for us to be the movers and shakers for giving awareness to the public regarding how important it is to recycle and how important it is to have a good environment, because it's not just us living in it, there are also people and also animals and other living things that we can't even see with our naked eye. So yeah, the environment is for all of us. That's the answer.
I see there's even an ad on chat. So to all the viewers and audience here today, if you would like to follow Eco Club, the Instagram is right in the chat box. And I highly encourage for all of you to follow them. Okay, so moving on. Besides the obvious laziness within our core, or at least my core, right, and the tediousness of particular tasks with respect to recycling, what other obstacles are there in the world right now which are hindering our efforts in making progress in recycling? And with regard to that, part 2 of the question, is there a way for us, for each and every one of us, to mitigate this problem?
Thank you for the question. So these are my answers. We have been living a lie, lack of courage to talk about recycling, too immersed in one idea. Let's be honest, recycling is tedious work. So I'm going to explain for the first point. We have been living a lie. What do I mean by a lie? Because we have been told by companies and medias that we are the reason, we little bugs are the reason why the environment is dying. But then no, that's not the actual truth, the absolute truth. When actually there are bigger companies, those manufacturers, those who do not actually pay their carbon taxes, are the ones who are actually responsible for it, but somehow they are shifting the blame to us. That's one. And then another one, you know those clothing companies who say they are like, oh, green clothes, we're gonna go green this season. Actually, if you watch there's a video on YouTube by Hassan Minhaj about the ugly truth of fast fashion. In there, he explains about this one company, H&M. The company give like this whole commercial about, oh, we're gonna go green, but then actually there's like 1% of the outfit is actually being of recycled material. The rest are all manufactured by factories that are they don't even pay their carbon taxes. So yeah, we have been living a lie, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we lack of courage to talk about recycling. Why is this so? Because like when we were in primary school, we were always told that we have to recycle, we have to recycle, we have to recycle. And it became more of something that you are forced to do. You don't actually want to do it. Why? Because like we don't see actually what's happening. We always told we want to recycle. The class gonna collect all this from one class, and then you're gonna win if you get the most weight of recycled items. But you never actually see the process of recycling. This is why you don't have courage to talk about it, because like we human, we are indeed social creatures. But then like we like to have this voice of reason, but then we need to have that confidence to believe in that reason as well. So like the reason why we here want to talk about it, because we have interest in it, or like we have watched videos on recycling. But then they are not everyone want to watch a video about recycling. Not everyone want to learn more. So like how do we help these people? We need to be the one who have the courage ourselves. So like suck it up to tell everyone that recycling is important and we must do it. Next, we are too immersed in one idea. What does it mean by one idea? Meaning to say, we have been told that recycling is just you take one thing and then you put in the bin, and then some way, somehow it's going to turn into another thing. We don't know if it's true or not. Well, now we know. So instead of living in that one idea, we can think bigger. There is now a serious talk on zero waste. Instead of trying to reduce waste by a small fraction, some individuals and communities are shifting their lifestyle to ensure that nearly everything is reused, recycled, or composted. Non-recyclable straws and to-go cup lids do not fit into the system. true inspiring a zero waste lifestyle will be impractical or impossible for most of us within current economic system. This is because yeah, not everyone gonna be doing it. And like it, why is this related? This is related to the last point. Let's be honest, recycling is tedious work, because like who have the time to actually segregate and clean their recyclables? That's now I said you have to clean your stuff before you actually recycle it. Clean all the food stains. We don't have the time. We are so busy with our life. We are. Let's admit it. But then we have to do it because recyclable is so important. It prevents pollution, reduce the need to harvest new raw material, saves energy, reduce greenhouse gases, the amount of waste that we ends up in landfills, and allow products to be used to the fullest extent. Sounds like a no-brainer. If our society wants to truly reach level of sustainability, recycling needs to play a core role in that. There's just no alternative. We can't actually go to a factory and do it ourselves, but we can start by being the one who actually responsible in taking care of our own waste and our own trash. So yeah, that is why. That's the problem and the solution. The solution is we just have to be better at recycling and be better at managing our waste. It's not that hard. Yeah. So that's the answer. Thank you.
I completely resonate with the tedious part because I can barely finish assignments, much less take care of my family and also recycle. So yes, thank you so much for that. And with that, we actually have come to the end of the forum session, but don't go anywhere just yet because we're opening up the questions for, we're opening up for a Q&A session. So if you haven't already, put your questions down in the chat box and we'll get right to it. It can be anything related to the topic or about the speakers and their professions. We'll put around 1 to 2 minutes downtime just to get the questions rolling. A bit of reminder for the audience to follow IIUM Club on Instagram, and there's a ad for them for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So if you're interested in the efforts of recycling and want to be a part of the change, please do follow them. Okay, so we have our first question from Miss Nurul Izzati Asyikin. So she said, I would like to ask how we as individuals can force these giant industries to pay their carbon taxes or at least be responsible towards the environment. I'll open the floor to both Brother Aidil and Sister Iwana.
All right, I'll take the floor first. Okay, so basically, if you ask me on what scale, on what scale the recycling is efficient, I would probably say between 2, 3, or something like that. Okay, so okay, the reason why I put that kind of efficiency, okay, on recycling is because the thing about recycling is that it is not the entire truth of our waste management. Okay, meaning that this is not the only option. Okay, the reason why it is very very dangerous for us to only focusing on like recycling is because we tend to like forgo other opportunities when it comes to conserving our natural resources, helping our planet to be more green, right? And yeah, because there are a lot of reasons why recycling first is not efficient. Okay, and even like in certain countries, okay, they don't have the right facility, okay, to actually convert these recyclables into a new products. Okay, they are not like this, not how do I say this? Um, like I said, it is not the only option. Okay, there are a lot of other options. Like I said, redesign, repurpose, reduce, reuse, reject, restore, and regift, rethink. What kind of like rethink? How do you want to use a product? For example, you want to share. You want to share it. When you want to carpool, for example, right? So that you put like recycle, you should put recycling into that kind of perspective. Okay, and if you ask like, is there any like progress in decreasing, if in Malaysia context, okay, we're not reaching the target that we're supposed to reach. Okay, you can just read it on like SWACOP. Okay, this organization, you just can search Malaysia recycling rate or something, and it will present to you the data from this one organization that actually document all these progress. So yeah, that's basically the truth of recycling. It's not really efficient. That's the reason you shouldn't forego other opportunities when it comes to actually reducing the waste that we produce day to day. All right. So I think that's all.
I'm sorry, brother Aidil, but I think you answered the second question, not the question that was posed to you. But it's okay. To reiterate the question from Miss Nurul Izzati, is she's asking how we as individuals can force these giant industries to pay their carbon taxes, or at least be more responsible towards the environment.
I'll take that question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so about the carbon tax, and yeah, we are tiny people who are like small compared to just giant companies. But then, like, we must remember there's the saying, together we strive, divided we not survive. So by how do we actually force them to pay their carbon tax? We can start a movement. We saw how movement works, and we saw how well they succeed. For example, the women's right movement, the equality movement. So we can do the same thing to force those companies to pay their carbon taxes. And yeah, as long as we get to spread the idea that, because not many people know about carbon tax, because before carbon tax even introduced, those companies treat our sky as like a sewer. So like once they introduce the carbon tax, actually the economy can rise because they pay their taxes. So how can we actually force them? We can start a movement and also raise awareness to general public how carbon tax work and how effective it is to help grow the economy more by forcing those companies to pay their carbon tax. Because all this while they have been shifting the blame to us, and we are like, because we don't know anything at the time, so we were like, okay, it's our fault. But then actually it's theirs. So now it's their time to pay. So we have to be a strong, undivided force and make them pay by starting a movement and create awareness. Yeah. And also about the question from Faraliana about the mealworms. Yeah, I like watching the mealworms eat the plastic because all this while we know how plastic takes forever to decompose. However, these mealworms, they can actually eat plastic. That for them, good for us, because like these mealworms look extremely disgusting, but then like they actually help us to compose this plastic quicker, even though they are like kind of slow, because like we know nature takes its course very slowly, very gently, but as long as it does, it works, and it doesn't require us to pay more, why not? So in my opinion, the mealworms is such a good idea. It needs to be introduced to the general public about the existence of these mealworms, because I'm sure not all of us know the existence of this worm eating plastic. We all know those blood sucking worms. We don't know about this plastic eating worms. So yeah, maybe once we get to introduce this idea, and yes, we can sell this idea to those companies who actually produce plastic on a daily basis. Maybe they can like, oh, this is a greater alternative than to spend money on decomposing. So yeah, I support the mealworms wholeheartedly. Go mealworms. Yeah.
Thank you to both Brother Aidil and Sister Iwana for answering the questions from our audience. And with that, we have reached the end of our session together. Before we leave, let us have a short photography session with the speakers and the audience members. So I'm advising for all of you to turn on your camera if you want to be showcased in the photograph, to be remembered by both us, the staff members, and also the speakers, inshallah. Is our cameraman, camerawoman here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
All right. We can wait for the other to turn on the camera. All right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Informal. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you to our photographer. Before we leave, let us officially end our session to thank Allah for gathering us here today to discuss and for the discussion, and also to strengthen our hearts. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka ta'lamu anna hadhihi al-qulub qad ijtama'at ala mahabbatik wa taqat ala ta'atik wa tawahhadat ala da'watik wa ta'ahadat ala nasrati syari'atik fawathikillahumma rabitataha wa adim wuddaha wa ihdiha subulaha wa amlaha binurika alladhi la yahbu washrah suduraha bifaidil iman bik. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. And with that, we have completed our program for today. On behalf of everyone from my group, I thank everyone who has joined. Your participation means so much to us. I especially want to thank our speakers for taking the time of their busy schedules to have an engaging discussion with us. And it's an honor for me to actually be the one moderating both of them today. Everything that is good comes from Allah, and forgive me for any of my shortcomings throughout this event. May all of you have a blessed night, and may we, the younger generation, continue to build up our legacy together. Thank you again.
Thank you for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
You're very
Sis
much welcome.
Iwana, and thank you, Bro Aidil.
Hey, thank you everyone. Sorry for any inconvenience caused. All right.
It's no problem.
No worries.